It was great. And it's still underway right now.
It is.
That's right. People were up late. I was up late. I mean, usually I go to bed right when it gets dark, because I'm a black crow. But yeah, what
unbelievable. I mean, what does this say about the future of combat sports? Well, we're going to tell you today on the Simon Feck Show, because we've got scoops, ladies and gentlemen. Kelvin Gastelum blaming the makers of petroleum jelly, aka Vaseline, for his 5-pound weight loss. Also, Canelo was threatening not to go out because of some shit that was in his rider that he asked for. So it's been crazy. We have our finger on the pulse of the MMA rumor mill. You're going to hear all about it today, guys.
Gentlemen, the Simon Feck Show. The Simon Feck Show is on top of things, people. Okay? I mean, this show here still continues, even when we don't have a producer.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how good the Simon Feck Show is, people. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And when you subscribe, you get the chant, ladies and gentlemen.
You get the chat, you get Feck, you get it all. You get whoever turns up in the chat. And I'll tell you one other thing that you get. Completely unsubstantiated rumors. Other MMA shows, they've not got the balls to put things out there that we just hear, that we just find on Twitter. I don't think so.
No. People are scared. People are scared to take control of the MMA rumor mill, people.
Yeah.
The MMA rumor mill is real, people. It is alive, people. And Simon Feck and Champ and the Ash, we bring it to you, people. We're not scared of rumors, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Rumors are real.
Yeah. Rumors, you can't prove them, but we'll just say that they're all completely true. I mean, the MMA rumor mill as well. What people don't understand about this, the MMA rumor, you were developing the Nina drama talking showerhead, and then it developed a kind of sentience, and it gave life to the MMA rumor mill, and it exists on a kind of parallel dimension that you can't see, but it transcends reality, and that's how we get our information. Because sometimes I won't even read things on the internet. I'll just be sitting smoking crack or something when I'm not. I don't do that at work. I'll smoke crack and I'll hear this stuff in my head, and I'll say, you know what, the people have to know, and I write it down on like the back of a receipt or something that I end up giving to a customer, and then they complain that I was like being weird or something. I don't think it's true though.
Yeah, that's right. Like for me, sometimes I don't even get the MMA rumor mill through the internet. Sometimes it comes in like telepathically into my head. It's that strong
out there, and if you spend enough time terminally online on MMA forums, you can hone in on it, and you get the news before anyone else has it. Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell, they'll never be able to understand the MMA rumor mill the way that we do, and it's been a heck of a week in combat sports, and we're going to tell you what's going to evolve over the next 12 to 24 years today in this episode.
Right. The MMA rumor, they need great sandpaper, ladies and gentlemen, but the MMA rumor mill is dominant over any other news source, ladies and gentlemen, and we here at ladies and gentlemen.
I would agree with that. And I think you just made a great point that we are 80 grit sandpaper. You look at any of the, Ariel Hawani, he's like 2,000 grit sandpaper. He doesn't do, he takes that to Brian Campbell, they're probably like 1,200, There's still, you can't really do real work with that.
Yeah, it's too soft. Like Nina Drama's feet. Nina Drama uses 60 grit sandpaper on her feet, ladies and gentlemen, to bring them to, acceptable level, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, she buffs her feet, and then, but the interesting thing about Nina Drama is that after she uses the 60 grit on her feet, she also uses Vaseline to buff her feet so that they reflect the sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. And an MMA rumor mill, besides myself, Simon Feck, and the champ, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Our number one correspondent, ladies and gentlemen, No Chill. How you doing, No Chill?
I'm doing very well, Mr. Feck. Can you hear me okay on my cell phone?
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. We got a lot to talk about. I'm very ready. I'm very prepared. I couldn't miss this show. I might crash the car, but fuck it. It's damn worth it.
There's a man that knows how the importance of the MMA rumor mill is, ladies and gentlemen. He's risking his life, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, let's hope you don't crash into anybody.
Yeah, I've heard two major rumors recently that really have me spiraling. I'm going down these rabbit holes, and they involve two pretty big names in the community. So, we got a lot to discuss. I'm sure you've heard it too. MMA Joey's sexuality.
Oh, well, I mean, basically, who hasn't heard it? But the way the Simon Feck show can bring it to you is like none other news source out there, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to elaborate on that right now?
Well, I mean, we could dive into Kenny Okoye's mom. I was gonna reach out to the kid. I felt bad for the kid. I thought he was retarded because I was watching him speak, and I wanted to help him out. Maybe you're not the smartest kid out there, but you're trying. And I click and I see his mom, and his mom is I don't know if she's a hooker, if she's a prostitute, but I see her Instagram and she's busting it down in her high heels. I was so shocked, and honestly, it kind of did turn me on. But I don't want as my stepson. But Kenny Okoye's mom, and I also think she was happy about Charlie Kirk getting a shot. I think there are two for other reasons, but I think she's a very sexy gal, and she really can bust a move, and that was really surprising. I didn't think he was one of those blacks with rhythm, but it's in his DNA.
I'm not familiar with this person. Who's Kenny Okoye?
He is he's just a black MMA YouTuber. He likes Israel Adesanya, he likes John Jones, he likes crayons, grilled cheese, if you catch my drift.
Okay.
Now his mother, is there any pictures of his mother's teeth?
Yes, there are actually some. I could if you give me a minute, I could make it my profile picture. Yeah, there's pictures of his mother's feet. There's pictures of his mother bust and her mom. And I'm not gonna, expose anybody, but she holds a pretty high position. So the fact that she's throwing it back like that is absolutely wild to me. I would not publicly display videos of my mom busting it back, but maybe it's a cultural difference.
Busting it back, ladies and gentlemen.
It said also liked Kenny Okoye. I was scrolling on Instagram. It said also liked Kenny Okoye, and I see this older black woman, very beautiful, very, very high quality, throwing it back, and I click on it, and it's his mother, and it's only in my recommendation because he liked it. I don't know what he liking it means. If my mother, real difference that we all need to figure out as Americans. Why do autistic black children like videos of their mom twerking on Instagram?
Well, I mean, she could just possibly be a great twerker. I mean that could be it.
Oh, it's more than possible. It's definitive. Let's go, Champ. I assume you're doing the research right now.
I'm deep into Wikipedia. I'm getting all the information. This is incredibly enlightening stuff. Take a piss. I'll be right back.
I'm not going to start any rumors about the rumor show, but the cucumber picture, as soon as he sees that video of Okoye's mother, I'm not saying it, but we're all thinking it.
I mean, it's a full-tail story the way I'm looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yeah.
So Champ, well, Champ's gone now. Okay, so I'm used to going straight to Champ. I don't know. So no chill. Have you heard that Joe Pyfer's jockstrap has now entered the UFC Hall of Fame? Now, not just his jockstrap, but also Joe Pyfer too. Yeah, he was seen wearing this cheesesteak jockstrap when he entered the UFC Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's right. Joe Pyfer has been auctioning off his fight jockstraps, and the cheesesteaks sanctum.
That is who is buying them at these auctions is what I wanted to know. Are they scented like cheesesteak, or is he wrapping his little Pyfer in a bunch of Philly delights? How does he acquire the sentiments for that? And congratulations on the Hall of Fame spot, Mr. Pyfer.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a trade secret how they become cheesesteak scented, but the Joe Pyfer jockstraps have been taking the market for the Philly cheesesteak down, because once people acquire a Joe Pyfer jockstrap, they don't need to go get a cheesesteak. All they get, they have the jockstrap within their possession, and they just stick it, and then they get their fulfillment of cheesesteak.
All the flavor, but none of the calories.
That might help people lose weight. And there's an American obesity epidemic in America. And Joe Pyfer's jockstrap is tackling that fucking issue. And I want to see more things like this. I want to see Yair fucking like brain cancer jockstrap. I want to see this sort of stuff happen all across America. I want to see people use this as a positive. And I think he's going into the Hall of Fame because of his cheesesteak jockstrap, and I think that sets a precedent for the rest of the fighters. Start using whatever trade secrets you can to center jockstrap and help America get healthy again, make America healthy again. You like Joe Pyfer.
Yeah. I think if you take like a jockstrap, right, for 6 hours and you duct tape it to your face, you could really just. You're technically fasting, but you also feel like you're not missing out as well, because you've got the jockstrap of someone like Joe Pyfer. Especially from Philadelphia, there's just a aroma of a cheesesteak. There's depth. There's texture in there as well. It's good for you. I don't understand why more people haven't been doing this up until this point.
There's a certain stank that could really get your mind going, and to your point.
I've never been to America actually.
Well, Well, if you do, I recommend Philly as your first place. It smells like a jockstrap, regardless of what you're wearing. It's really beautiful if you're into that sort of thing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I like it. Sorry.
And one place to visit is Kensington, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Champ, like you mentioned about weight loss, you might want to talk about Gaston.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's good. So, no trouble. I'm not sure if you've been watching every show up until this point, or well, the recent shows. But well, basically, we got off the MMA rumor mill. Kelvin Gastelum developed a method to help him and slather in his stomach in Vaseline, and then sliding around on laminate flooring. And the reason that he's missed this week by 5 pounds is that he didn't realize it, but he had the wrong kind of Vaseline. He bought strawberry flavored Vaseline, and so when he tried to lose weight with it, it didn't work. And so he's now saying that he's going to sue the Vaseline company for everything they've got, because he thinks that he was in line for a middleweight title shot if he had made weight and won this fight.
Was he eating his slime?
He's probably, I think it's hard to live like that and not ingest some of the slime, for sure.
That's awful. That's a really awful story for Kelvin. I mean, that's a thing I've heard of people doing more recently. You're having trouble losing weight, so you strip completely naked, right? You lather up in some grease and some around on the ground. I feel like saunas are very outdated. I went to an MMA gym. There was four black dudes, and they were all oiled up, big shell on. They were scrumming around on the ground. I was like, "How's the weight cut going?" And then they weren't talking English, but I assumed they said good. It was like something like that. I assume it was the weight cut's good. I'm happy to be a snail right now. But in the case of Kelvin Gastelum, that's a win and a loss, because I feel like his jockstrap probably does smell like strawberries now, so that's a positive. But not making weight, that's awful. It's a championship opportunity that he lost. You can't be looking. I could tell his stomach had a redness to it. He looked a little more plump than usual, and it was definitely some body absorbing that strawberry Vaseline that did it to him. I did hear that from Crazy Kev. He did tell me that before, so I was aware of that. But I did not know that the strawberry part was happening, and that's why he lost the weight. I just thought he's Crazy Kev.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it as well is that redness in his stomach, that's going to be there for months. And it's a shame as well, because strawberry Vaseline is a great thing to have. And you think what someone else could have done with, several kilograms of strawberry Vaseline, and unfortunately, Kelvin Gastelum's slathering himself up, thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to make weight, no problem at all." And it's a wasted opportunity for Kelvin, and it's a waste of the Vaseline too. And you wonder, what's he going to do with the rest of that Vaseline now? Because I can't think that he's thinking straight. He's probably going to go home and punch the tub of Vaseline and be like, "You made me lose weight, you stupid strawberry Vaseline." So it'll be interesting to see what he does next in his career.
I mean, his Kelvin Gastelum strawberry jockstrap. That's like pate. That's like some very high quality sort of thing now that I feel like a lot of people prefer. It's a secret how he gets that, but your entire body covered up in strawberry Vaseline. I imagine his jockstrap is going to be selling very, very high to the likes of Nina Drama or Will Black Betty. They would love to purchase something like that.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. That's basically design craftsmanship at that point. You can't do.
Ladies and gentlemen.
3D print another.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's a one of a kind.
Gold coming in, ladies and gentlemen. We got pure gold coming in, ladies and gentlemen.
That sort of craft kind of entered the MMA sphere because they got a lot of big meatheads, you know, who wants their protein bars or protein shakes, but there's nothing natural about that. You know, Kelvin Gastelum's jockstrap, that's a human being. That's the chemicals into your body. Well, the Vaseline might have some chemicals, but other than that, it's just, you know, it's pure little, you know, Mexican sweat. And, you know, that's something a lot of people do.
Western Mass Climber, ladies and gentlemen. Western Mass Climbers here, ladies and gentlemen. And gold, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Gold is here, ladies and gentlemen. Get rowdy, ladies and gentlemen. Get rowdy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Get rowdy, ladies and gentlemen. And other genders, ladies and gentlemen. All genders, ladies and gentlemen. And other genders, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and yeah.
You know, he's eating his Vaseline slime as he's slogging around. When Stoltzfus was shooting, he was going to the body from the sprawl position. Gastelum was getting up, and Stoltzfus was going to the body with uppercuts, and Gastelum was getting hit, but it didn't affect him. Why? When you slide,
there's a lot of genders, ladies and gentlemen. There's lots of genders, ladies and gentlemen. Well, at least gold's telling us, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, gold in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We got gold in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah.
Side of my shell, on pavement, on road. This punch to his stomach doesn't feel like anything. In Pennsylvania, I have 10 needles, you know, in my ball sack. So a punch to the stomach, what the fuck? What is this shit, you know?
Gold says, yeah!
So in addition, sorry, Simon, I was just going to say, in addition to the cuts and the bruising that form like a protective layer, the Vaseline itself permeates the skin.
Gold says, yeah!
Protective barrier, so that not even microbial bacteria can interfere with the stomach now. So a punch is never going to get through.
Yeah. And that's
it's just me and you, Gold.
That we see today. No more beat.
Western Mass Climber must have left, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, the trade secrets be a different world.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if they're going to start some Vaseline. That could come in, and that will change the game if that happens.
We see a lot of careers derailed. You know, there's a lot of guys I know. I'm not going to say names, but there's Kamaru Usman. There's Sage Northcutt. He did that a lot. And Jock Della Maddalena, the champion. You know, I've heard he's experimented with it, but it's usually lower level.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gold's coming in with Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
To another extreme. It's not only his skin, it's every orifice too with that guy. And he doesn't even wear
ladies and gentlemen, listen. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen, says Gold. And you can take that to the bank, ladies and gentlemen, because it's gold, ladies and gentlemen. Gold, says Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen that video with Laura Sanko jogging? She's hot. Listen up. Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what's really going on. Because I don't think anyone else is talking about the Vaseline issue.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody knows what a time capsule is, right? So who's Howard Tern? Western Mass Climber. We just call him Western. Who is Howard Tern? wants to build a time capsule for UFC Whitehouse to sell.
I guess it's not explainable, Western.
250 years.
It's good to see you back, though, Western.
UFC's birthday 300. What do you think Dana White should offer up in the time capsule, No Chill? Any answer?
I would probably say maybe the bullet of whoever gets executed at that event. Maybe they could take it from the carotid artery and put that.
Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says Laura Sanko's hot. She's beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. She also likes to smash her head up against the light, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Sanko.
It's going to ferment. That's going to be a hell of a thing to happen. 200 years.
Yeah.
Now, right here, Western.
Oh my gosh. Do you think
Western thinks that Simon Feck, has a brain. He's going to fix it. It's our turn. It's our turn. I'm going to tell you right now, Gold definitely knows the Simon Feck show, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you know how, like, fights get inducted into...
All right, win. DWCS, just to get an interview, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, the Randy Couture versus Chuck Liddell fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gold's going to win Dana White's Contender Series, ladies and gentlemen. Just to get an interview, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Yeah!
I mean, like the live, you know, just put it in there and then fight it out.
I still don't think that there was a lot of
Feck
contrast.
just broke Holloway's significant strike record on that lamp. Ladies and gentlemen, Western comes in. That's Feck. Feck just broke Holloway's strike record, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
In that last fight, obviously they didn't have
The most strikes per live stream, ladies and gentlemen, says Western. That means Feck or Howard Kern, ladies and gentlemen. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, triple threat, you know, fight sounds. It sounds like that's what the UFC needs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And they need to stop promoting Nina drama too, because I've heard some rumors about her that weren't too kosher.
Oh.
That was a good one, Western. I'm going to be making a video out of that one.
I'm not going to say. I don't want to give away.
And Gold gave plenty of gold too.
Charlie Kirk's slaughter.
Is that right?
She was in Utah. I'm not going to say what I heard, but I definitely did hear that she.
Mark Goddard has a steroid rage problem, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says Mark Goddard has a steroid rage, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You hear from Gold, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Goddard has a steroid rage problem, ladies and gentlemen. And you heard it from none other than Gold, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Now there's another video right there. Perfect.
I'm not gonna say it, but she was actually trying to.
Western wants to know if that's no chill, ladies and gentlemen. It's either no chill. It's either no chill or it's John Morgan. Now, is it John Morgan being a naughty boy, or is it no chill, Western?
Distracted, and him and his buddy, accidentally the ball astray, and it shot Charlie Kirk in front of his children. The blood got on their lunchboxes. It was awful, and it's all because of Nina drama. It was very dark.
What girl in the UFC, right? Fighter or correspondent Who do you think would look hottest in a used jockstrap?
Needed drama?
Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern, all these sexy Brazilian girls.
And don't forget Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like John Morgan, my bad.
Shoulders, muscular.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good jawline, good.
Ladies and gentlemen. Western thinks this is John Morgan, ladies and gentlemen. It could be No Chill, ladies and gentlemen. It could be John Morgan. If No Chill, if you call in as John Morgan.
Yes, but not tall, just strong.
Gold just said 10 push-ups, John Morgan. Yeah.
Then Sean Strickland's, his they always do those videos.
Yeah, that was UFC 310. Yeah, UFC 310. Western, who's John Morgan talking to? John Morgan is talking to Champ. Let's go Champ 2023. Now, Simon Feck was there. But John Morgan and Champ didn't let Simon Feck talk very much. Yeah, Colby Covington. I do.
But yeah, I don't think the bettors are going to benefit from that at all.
Right. Gold says Covington bullying Morgan for push-ups is gold. Says gold, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 push-ups, John Morgan, right now. Make it snappy, says gold, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, Colby Covington said that, ladies and gentlemen. Where you been, John Morgan? Call back into the Simon Feck show. You hear me? John Morgan.
That's Dana White's way, so who am I going to argue against the boss?
Listen, I mean, the thing is, all clans are beautiful in their own way, It's, and I say that as well, because there's something else that's been bothering me.
You got to love a good clan, ladies and gentlemen.
I know that when Howard Tern called into a show recently,
he just said Howard Tern, Western.
And people have called this show gay. And this show is not just gay, it's the gayest.
I want to know
on the internet.
White's Juice Cycle, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate it truly.
Says gold, ladies and gentlemen.
What's the word? Platonic perspective.
Disgusting.
Watch Clown Show.
Hey man, listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch Clown Shows here, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Yes, I like the way that they look. I just don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch Clown Shows here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The clown from Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen. Who lives on property, ladies and gentlemen. And he goes into town, ladies and gentlemen. He invented MMA drama, ladies and gentlemen. And then Nina Drama came along, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got Watch Clown Show in here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Where's Clam Hassel? Where is Clam Hassel? There's no chill, ladies and gentlemen.
Not only John Jones, but DC.
Ladies and gentlemen, no chill in here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Even Clown Show fans love Simon Feck. The truth is undeniable. There's no chill. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Everybody watches Clown Show, ladies and gentlemen, to watch Simon Feck Show, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going to need at least 2 years for that operation. So I don't know what he's thinking.
Clown goes in the closet to beat off. Well, anybody from Arkansas does that. If you're from Arkansas, the shit stain of the United States, it's like that shit stain in your underwear, ladies and gentlemen. That shit stain in your underwear. If you look at the map of the United States, Arkansas is that shit stain, ladies and gentlemen.
To put it nicely, I don't know if DC is going to be winning in this fight at the White House. I really don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, just gold, ladies and gentlemen.
I've seen videos of him recently. He's looking dead. He's cracked out. He's doing methamphetamines.
Western says so.
I don't want to say specifics about what he's.
We got friends in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Western says, "Sup, chill."
He kind of looks in the mirror and he hates himself and he can't see his penis anymore, so he wants to, go fight again, get his hair plugs, and kind of reinvent himself. And he also,
ladies and gentlemen, we got Dagger in here, ladies and gentlemen.
He's definitely.
I don't know what this is, but it reminds me of Max Headroom incident video.
Good for his mental health.
You got that right, Dagger. Max Headroom.
The MMA rumor mill, it runs deep and it cuts hard, ladies and gentlemen. The MMA rumor mill, it runs deep and it cuts hard, ladies and gentlemen. And people are saying now, like in some of the comments, they're saying that Dana White, after DC fights in UFC and Whitehouse, that Dana White should offer up DC for the time.
Simon Feck scared me at first, but then I realized it's just a chill guy. And we got no chill. We got no chill in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck's just a chill guy, ladies and gentlemen. Says gold. And that's gold, ladies and gentlemen. Yes!
It's going to take him a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 8 high in here, ladies and gentlemen. We got 8 high in here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and everything and all that bullshit. We got the Clown Show in here. We got No Chill in here. We got Western in here. We got Gold in here. We got Dagger in here, ladies and gentlemen. We got John Morgan in here. We got the Champ in here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Simon Feck. We got Howard Tern, ladies and gentlemen. We got Giuliano in here, ladies and gentlemen. K-Doctor, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck, the man, says K-Doctor, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got everybody in here. We got 7, 8 people in here. We got everybody.
He's full of like jelly. He's very gelatinous. You could make UFC gummy bears for the next 500 years out of DC's fat after it's preserved underground. This is a business opportunity for the UFC. This is a lot of food that can be.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a good PR move. You don't want one of your legends, sucking off.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who it was, but it was Giuliano Argenti that he did suck off, and
Giuliano Argenti, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not a good look for a legend. So I feel like putting him in a timeout. You uncover him, and now everybody eats a little bit of DC in their day. Everybody gets to eat part of a legend. Have DC inside of them. Everybody wants DC inside of them. Everybody really does want DC inside of them. Yeah. And it's
man, John Morgan's something else, isn't he, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, it's a little unrealistic. Or burying him in the time capsule and turning him into gelatin after hundreds of years of fossilization could also be another route that the UFC goes down. And either way, I think it's a good business move.
Yeah, I mean, as well, they could use some of that gelatin.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Western says, oh, we got another one. It moved on me. Ladies and gentlemen, Western says, Giuliano Argenti, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Giuliano Argenti. I can't say it, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says Argenti, ladies and gentlemen.
It's hard to argue, I guess. I'll say, you make a good point.
Simon Feck is the revolution, says K. Nato, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, could be the smartest man on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. K. Nato, ladies and gentlemen. K. Nato says Simon Feck is the revolution, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
The shampoo situation,
there's a wrestling term right there, K. Nato. Yeah, no holds barred MMA talk, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, K. Nato. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Tern MMA here, ladies and gentlemen. No holds barred, ladies and gentlemen. MMA talk, ladies and gentlemen. That was crap. Let's do it again. K. Nato says, ladies and gentlemen. K. Nato, no holds barred MMA talk from Howard Tern MMA, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
To leave DC in there for a while, because he's been acting on.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Morgan. Well, it could be No Chill, ladies and gentlemen. No Chill just mentioned Giuliano Argenti. Argenti, ladies and gentlemen, says K. Nato, ladies and gentlemen.
It's controversial because you're promoting, it's anti-male beauty. You're saying, hey, you're not good. You're telling your audience you're not good enough.
How long did it take to make the guru mask? Yeah, so Simon Feck, he bought it to make it into a guru mask. But he didn't get to it for like a month or two. And then it was a couple days, couple hours total. They had to go buy spray paint.
Is that right?
I wish Simon Feck would have made the mustache go all the way down to the beard. But hey, check this out, Gold. So there's going to be new mouth pieces on it. The next time you see it, well, it's right here. The next time you see it, there's going to be mouthpieces down here, and I tear them off, and I put new ones on, like laughing and frowning and the wow and everything. It's going to be pretty cool.
So right now, ladies and gentlemen, MMA Zone is currently scraping and getting the news right here from the MMA rumor mill, ladies and gentlemen, the Simon Feck Show with Champ and No Chill, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, go ahead, MMA Zone, go ahead and scrape anything you want from this show right now.
It's definitely very creative. Has Guru ever mentioned it? No. The MMA Guru, people keep going in there and asking him about Simon Feck, and he keeps acting like he doesn't know. How many times does somebody have to talk to the MMA Guru about Simon Feck? He knows. He just doesn't want to know about it, ladies and gentlemen. But me and the MMA Guru, Simon Feck and the MMA Guru have been talking back and forth. He knows exactly who Simon Feck is. Don't let him fool you. He's done 4 videos on Simon Feck this year. Hidden secret messages in some of his videos, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean big messages. It ain't just like one word or one sentence. Trust me on that. I'm going to do reaction videos on it. Well, Simon Feck Feck is going to do reaction videos on it, ladies and gentlemen.
For a reason, motherfucker, because it's the breaking news. It's the fucking truth. And when I see people,
I heard a rumor that Guru and who?
When you
went to high school together.
And I use the term people very loosely. Just outright stealing news and stealing takes without.
I have no idea about that.
Giving any credit, it really just it turns my stomach. It's awful. It's disgusting, and I think this should be punishable.
We
Yeah,
shouldn't even.
Oh, and you.
Other people are going to be using our skips.
Gold says that Simon Feck and the MMA Guru went to the same high school together, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Simon Feck and the MMA Guru went to the same high school together, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You heard it from Gold, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Gold, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be a good one, Gold. I'll be using that one for a short. Well, I got a bunch of them.
What has he done? What has he done? We've done a lot. I mean, we went to Baghdad in Afghanistan. We went to Iraq. We went to all of these hostile.
Got another 40 minutes of this stupid video, ladies and gentlemen.
In their studios, you know.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. They probably don't even watch the full thing. They don't even get all the context. You know, they just want to, you know, I mean, without trying to sound indecent, they want to. That lamp has a hell of a chin. Ladies and gentlemen, Western says this lamp right here has a hell of a chin, ladies and gentlemen. It has a better chin.
And they deserve it. You know, if they're going to steal news.
Who doesn't have a good chin?
It has to happen. And I do understand protesting, but it is a
Garbrandt, Cody Garbrandt. Ladies and gentlemen, Western says that this lamp. What did you say? Ladies and gentlemen, Western says that this lamp has a hell of a chin, ladies and gentlemen. This lamp has a better chin, ladies and gentlemen, than Cody Garbrandt, ladies and gentlemen. That came in from Western, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. There's another good one. I got some good ones tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says it only took California 1 month to arrest Raja. There it is. It only took California a month to arrest Raja Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, California is on the case, ladies and gentlemen. It only takes a month to arrest the guy that was on the scene and walked away from the scene, ladies and gentlemen.
It's really very, I don't want to sound.
California's on the ball, ladies and gentlemen.
Like one of them
says gold, ladies and gentlemen.
It's too hot. It's very scalding.
K-Dot says, Simon, do you watch... What? Simon, do you watch lab-grown baby Lesnar fight today? That's lab-grown baby Lesnar fight today. No, I didn't. But, no, I didn't. Did you? Did you?
Not to just circle back around. I'll tell you that the guy at the
what you got here? His name is Frederick Vassaro, German dig doctor. You know, Simon Feck, not me, because I'm Howard Tern, but Simon Feck has a bird brain, ladies and gentlemen. Vosco
was taught how to say, ladies and gentlemen, correctly, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done with the MMA zone, okay? You guys, I know you're going to...
His name is Frederick Vosco, ladies and gentlemen. It's a German dig doctor, ladies and gentlemen. It says, K-Doctor, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to do with that one, man. German fighter. Oh, that's who he fought? I don't know. Raja. Raja's not going to serve a day in prison. I live in California. This is all for a show. Yeah.
This is why
I believe it.
we've got to a state and society where journalists can say whatever they want. This for years. If you
I know it's so dumb. Cali is a joke, says Gold, ladies and gentlemen.
Giving it the go-ahead first. You know?
Yeah. MMA musical. He makes things. He doesn't credit Simon Feck. Yeah. No, I go look on MMA musical's channel. I can't find a single credit Simon Feck. And I'm not saying that dude should be executed, but you gotta have some integrity as a journalist.
There's a German fighter, and people compare him to Lesnar. He's roided to the tits. Says Canado, ladies and gentlemen, not Lesnar, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Musical MMA. There's not one credit for Simon Feck.
Gavin Newsom, ladies and gentlemen, for the people, ladies and gentlemen. Says gold, ladies and gentlemen, and that's gold, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, we're 5 high no chill right now. We have 5 high viewers right now. And I
Canado.
one of them.
Frederick looks like a damn caveman. Canado says that Frederick looks like a damn caveman, ladies and gentlemen.
Why you haven't credited Simon Feck?
Look him up, says Canado. Cali is a dump, says Canado.
Using our hard work, because we said a few weeks ago, we're not going to start putting out good content until we hit 100,000 subscribers. So this isn't even our best content because we're close to 100,000, but we're not quite there yet. I think we're still about 99,700 people away.
That's right. The Simon Feck Show. The Simon Feck Show is only going to put out good content when it reaches. We're only 99,700 subs away, ladies and gentlemen. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, says gold, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. From Howard Tern, the man on the left side, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
And make a livelihood off of it. I want death squads. I want this dude. Well, I'm not going to say who, but I want MMA musical. I want his stomach.
Canada says sKIT, love sKIT. Ladies and gentlemen, love Charlie Kirk, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here from Howard Tern, ladies and gentlemen. The man on the left. Loving the man on the right, ladies and gentlemen.
In the street, vehicles, for no apparent
Gold says, true patriots, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck leftists, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're not afraid to say what side we're on, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the good side, ladies and gentlemen.
I think this needs to be a hostile takeover.
Good statement, Gold, ladies and gentlemen.
And then all the folks reporting out there. Last night, somebody sent me a clip of Giuliano Argenti saying that Giuliano, whatever his name is, Argenti and Bedtime MMA were the only ones to predict a full card this year, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
12 for 12, whatever you want to say.
They're going around saying they predicted all 12 fights. I knew there was going to be 12 fights.
Bedtime MMA and Argenti are not the only ones to sweep a card this year. Argenti, stop lying, Argenti.
Well, that's the thing. Discord. Yeah, no, that's fair. I was just going to say that on Discord, you every fight.
Howard Stern hairs. I mean, come off, ladies and gentlemen. started having a receding hairline, ladies and gentlemen.
3.5 years, I think.
Howard Tern doesn't have a receding hairline, ladies and gentlemen.
I have news that will absolutely shock you. I'm looking at my Google spreadsheets right now. Isha Jerome of the City Life Project, he predicted 12 fights. Jake Linden, homeless YouTuber, Northwest 425, he said there were going to be 12 fights as well.
Oh, yeah.
Theo Dawkins, he just got knocked out by Yoel Romero. He said there were going to be 12 fights as well. So Giuliano, Argenti, and what was his name? The other one? Bedtime MMA. You're fucking lying to your audience. They're deceiving your audience on purpose, and I find it fucking disgusting. What this is big pharma. This is Big Brother trying to hold his thumb down.
You tell him, John Morgan. You tell him, John Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, Gold says Argenti is the #1 predictor in betting history, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, Gold. And that's gold. You can put that in the bank, ladies and gentlemen. Argenti is the best. He's the #1 predictor in betting history, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And you heard it here from Gold. And that's gold, ladies and gentlemen. Take that to the ladies and gentlemen.
Look at us. The people that really do the people that get the pickaxes, and they are the ones mining for the diamonds. They mine for the diamonds just for Big Brother to take what we yield. And I think it's time we start finding these MMA YouTubers in real life, publicly posting their address and murdering them. Cold blood on their streams. Murder them. That's what I think needs to be done.
We'll give them one more chance.
Take that to the bank, Gold says. That's right. Argenti is the best betting source you can have, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at his speech pattern. That is a man of knowledge and wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. Argenti is articulate, ladies and gentlemen. He's the best predictor on the planet for betting MMA, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he predicted there was going to be 12 fights on the last card, ladies and gentlemen. He predicted all 12 fights, ladies and gentlemen. Him and Bedtime MMA.
Stop eating pork. I had a lot of questions about life that I thought were going to be answered, but you keep feeling the pressure.
Gold says I used his betting advice and had to sell my car, ladies and gentlemen. You hear that, Argenti? Argenti, you're making people go broke with your betting advice. Argenti, your betting advice sucks balls, Argenti. Argenti, you need to get out of the prediction business. Gold. How to sell his gold and his car and his house. He bet the whole farm, ladies and ladies and gentlemen, Giuliano, or whatever his stupid name is, do not follow his betting advice. That's you heard it from me, Howard Tern, ladies and gentlemen. Because I had a bad experience with it. Because my friend Gold lost his car, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. We got some good ones tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
They have the ability to sift through time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gold just said, ladies and gentlemen, had to sell my car, which was my home, ladies and gentlemen. You hear that, Argenti? I'm on the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Now, how do you feel, Argenti? How do you feel? Gold is out on the streets because of your betting advice. And Argenti's at his fake girlfriend's house, smoking cigarettes.
They did predict.
And Argenti, you own McLaurin and you walk to 7-Eleven. I know a lot of people that own McLaurens, and they always walk to 7-Eleven. Your betting advice put gold out on the street and lost his home. He lost his car, and it was doubled as his home.
Stealing the great work of Simon Feck. And these people, they're longtime fans, as you said, you know, they do travel through time. They do all sorts of things.
Gold says, I'm charging my phone at Circle K, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the street. You hear that, Argenti?
It's definitely
your betting advice is people are losing their homes. Well, it was their car too. And then they don't even have electricity. They have to go to Circle K.
That's not what happened.
Because Gold doesn't have a McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen. 7-Eleven only allows people with McLaurins that walk to 7-Eleven to go in. If you don't own a McLaurin like Argenti, you have to go to Circle K to charge your phone when you're homeless, ladies and gentlemen. From Argenti's betting advice, ladies and gentlemen. Argenti, listen to me. Argenti is the best betting advice if you want to lose money, ladies and gentlemen. If that's not your agenda, then go somewhere else, ladies and gentlemen.
He's alive. He's sitting you know, spasm blood from his neck.
Kenalo says Argenti just gained 12,000 subscribers just now. Somehow. And with only his usual 9 viewers. I know, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Argenti charges his phone at Circle K. Kenalo says Giuliano Argenti charges his phone at Circle K, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's a pun for Circle K, ladies and gentlemen.
That could be it.
Gold says, I have to stop charging the clerk that's telling me to leave. Thanks, Argenti. Ladies and gentlemen. Argenti, you're putting people out on the street, ladies and gentlemen. Taking their homes from them, which is their car. And then they got to charge their phone at Circle K. And they're there at Circle K so often because they're watching all your live streams that their battery's running low. And they're there so much at Circle K that they get kicked out. And they can't even watch your stream anymore.
Dan Mercury is now known as the death ref, ladies and gentlemen.
Circle jerk.
And that's a horrible thing. And it was one.
Kate Otto says that circle jerk. You hear that? Hey, Argenti, Andy, whatever his name is, Giuliano Argenti, whatever. Mr. Falco. Their family changed their name to Fulco because the son of Sam, David Berkowitz, his family name is Falco too, ladies and gentlemen. So, Giuliano Argenti's family changed the name from Falco to Fulco to try not to be, associated with the son of Sam, ladies and gentlemen. Facts. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Circle jerk. Gold says, I have no fucking car or home, and he's in a fucking McLaurin. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Out of a straw.
The guy Argenti owns a McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen. And again, he walks to 7-Eleven. Argenti has a McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen, and he has a ceiling fan that's missing 2 blades. It's got 2 blades, ladies and gentlemen. And he wears a $22 jacket, ladies and gentlemen, like a 1970s sweatsuit jacket like that. And when he travels, he stays in Hampton Inns, ladies and gentlemen, but he has a McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, everything adds up, ladies and gentlemen, just like how many subscribers he has versus viewers, ladies and gentlemen. Everything in Argenti's life just totally adds up, ladies and gentlemen. You can go all day long with Argenti. And we basically really even haven't really even got into the lies yet. I mean, some of them we have,
jobs that Clarissa Shields would give people. I mean, there were some legendary moments in her career, but Clarissa Shields has a very big jaw. She has a very big mouth.
The smell of the jacket smells like oil and paint, ladies and gentlemen.
Very small clam.
Says gold, ladies and gentlemen. Argenti's jacket smells like oil and paint, ladies and gentlemen.
If you threw a pumpkin at her, she could catch it between her legs and she could...
It also smells like dandruff and cigarette ash, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll tell you what it doesn't smell like. Argenti's jacket doesn't smell like a woman, I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, because he hasn't brushed up against a woman since he left his mom's house, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially when you start to see more...
that fake girlfriend of his in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. How come she's never in the video with him? I mean, he never snuggles with her all night long? Not once. She never comes over and gives him a little kiss on the cheek. What a fake girlfriend. Argenti's the leader in fake girlfriends, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God. Argenti has a fake girlfriend and a fake McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen. But one thing he doesn't have is fake legs because he walks to 7-Eleven. And his girlfriend doesn't walk with him.
We need the Simon Feck show needs to send a message.
Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen to me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 20 more minutes of this stupid video, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen to me, Clarissa. Listen to me. Clarissa Shields never eat pizza with Dan Merculano. You listen to Clarissa. Never eat pizza with Dan Merculano. The death referee, ladies and gentlemen.
Never eat pizza with Dan Merculano, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says, I don't want to date. I want to date. Excuse me. Gold says, I want to date Laura. Ladies and gentlemen, it's definitely going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Man, Gold's going to win the Dana White Contender Series, and he's going to date Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. And it's definitely going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. Laura Sanko is looking for a man that has plenty of gold, ladies and gentlemen. And you would think if a man that has gold would be none other than gold, ladies and gentlemen. And that's gold. You can stick that in your pipe and smoke it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's ask Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Sanko, are you going to date? Are you going to date gold one day? Listen, Laura Sanko. Are you gonna date? Uh-oh.
I will say this.
I thought that might be the bird yelling at me, ladies and gentlemen. Just got an indication on the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Sanko, Laura Sanko, are you gonna date gold, ladies and gentlemen?
Do you think?
Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta check out that video of Laura Sanko jogging down the road, ladies and gentlemen. She's loose, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good luck with that goal, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Tern here, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the scoop, ladies and gentlemen. Howard Tern. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Tern here, ladies and gentlemen, and Simon Feck is now dating Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your news source. I'm Howard Tern, and Laura Sanko is now dating Simon Feck, the crazy YouTuber, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We heard it from the MMA rumor mill, ladies and gentlemen. We heard it from the MMA rumor mill, ladies and gentlemen. Down goes, ladies and gentlemen. Down goes a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. Down goes my hair, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to take bath. Mr. No Chill, I don't want to take bath salts before the fight. What are you, fucking retarded? You're gonna end up like Charlie Kirk, buddy. You take those bath salts and you make weight. or you're going to be another disgrace to the sport. And I don't want to see any more disgraces to the sport.
Legend has it that Argenti's apartment smells like latex and regret. Giuliano says, legend has it that Argenti's apartment smells like latex and regret, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's no doubt, ladies and gentlemen. It's no doubt. Argenti has a great imagination. Argenti imagines that he has a McLaurin, ladies and gentlemen. And he also imagines that that girl that feels sorry for him is his girlfriend. Argenti goes around telling people that that girl is his girlfriend. Argenti, listen to me. Howard Tern here. Argenti, have your girlfriend come on the video and say that she's your girlfriend, because you're a fucking liar, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck would tell you that.
Okay, it doesn't look great, but does it look that bad? That's my question.
Well,
that's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Gold says she's hot, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen.
Fight where she lost. She thought she was going to get bath salts, and they put about 1 entire pound of sand in the funnel.
Oh.
Gold says, congrats, Howard.
In the funnel. And you know, she's waiting, and instead her teeth just keep crunching on sand. Her stomach's full. She's not feeling good, and next thing you know, no more title, never wins an MMA fight again. So I think we really need some professionals to administer the bath salts. I want people, you know, such as yourself, to give the bath salts to the fighters. People such as Derek Moneyberg and maybe Crazy Horse, you know, people that can be trusted with bath salts. I think they should be the ones administrating it. Your own corner doing it, you know, you see fishy shit happen all the time. You see sand gets poured down the bath salts. Or maybe you confuse.
I get jealous of DC hitting on my girlfriend, says Gold. Yeah, I know. Simon Feck tells me that all the time. DC walks around the Apex like he owns the place, ladies and gentlemen. You know? I mean, Chael Sonnen, he doesn't have an office in there, so he can't do that. But he would do the same thing. But tell me, listen to me, people. Simon Feck tells me a lot about DC. DC thinks his shit don't stink, ladies and gentlemen. Going around, you know, hitting on Gold's girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen.
You can try it yourself.
DC, get your own girlfriend. I mean, your wife doesn't want nothing to do with you, but DC, why don't you get your own girlfriend? Stop stealing my friend's girlfriends, DC.
He would still be with us today, and it's just an American disgrace to see this not outlawed necessarily, but just not take common practice outside of Eastern Europe.
Okay, here it goes. All right, Gold, here it goes. I keep telling this story, right? I don't. I'm Howard Tern, but Simon Feck.
It's really a disgrace for America.
You work at the UFC Apex, correct? Simon Feck doesn't work for the UFC.
Simon Feck knows some people, okay? And BKFC fighter, a true Philadelphian, okay? A BKFC fighter, Travis Thompson, once told Simon Feck that the people love the movie Rocky, and they love the character Rocky because Rocky is the epitome of a Philadelphian, ladies and gentlemen. And Simon Feck, I want to know, is Joe Piper the epitome of Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think about Joe?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so all right, so Simon Feck does not work for the UFC. The UFC subcontracts, picks up Simon Feck. Simon Feck subcontracts to the UFC. Simon Feck's in the Apex all the time, ladies and gentlemen. True story. Well, let's stop with the true stories. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen.
If the UFC doesn't find somebody soon, they're going to miss out on a giant opportunity make that Rocky story kind of, finally be based off of something that
Simon Feck is the fucking GOAT, says Gold, ladies and gentlemen. I've never heard more gold in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Gold just said that Simon Feck is fucking the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. Now I was paraphrasing. Let me get it correctly here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Gold said Simon Feck is the fucking GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And don't you forget it. And stick that in your pipe and smoke it, MMA Joey.
Kind of take a championship in maybe Kensington, things like that, where we need some.
We got about 15 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
There's underprivileged people.
Gold.
Could use a
like you contract with them, I assume.
Being homeless.
Correct.
A lot of Philadelphians too. So
that's right, Gold. You just struck gold. That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
UFC on the Whitehouse lawn. I don't think the Whitehouse needs a UFC to promote itself. But what if they had UFC on someone's front lawn in Kensington? Would that not be great for the country as well?
And that would be fantastic, champ. I feel like it would really bring the unity that America kind of needs.
Gold says, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's right. I've told that story enough on here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure I'll tell it 80, 90 more times, ladies and gentlemen.
On somebody's front lawn.
Pretty soon, Simon Feck.
So that might be an issue.
Pretty soon, Simon Feck's going to put.
We could find one, maybe in like a Popeyes.
Going to put like,
by the trash bin.
Like if a batter gets up to the plate. And I'm not talking about pointing that for a home run. But like a batter gets up there and he strokes his hair 3 times. And that means he's saying hello to the people at home. You know they do that, right? Okay. Coming up real soon, Simon Feck. And Simon Feck will let you know. He's going to do a secret code.
Be careful about that. Be careful whose steroids you take. Some of those steroids.
At a major UFC card, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming up.
Hey, yo, guy, give me your fucking money. And they always joke around with me like that.
We got John Morgan talking about Kensington, ladies and gentlemen.
There's steroid needles all over the place. They need to clean up a little bit. Maybe they need like a Goldman's gym or something like that. But other than that, Kensington's a beautiful place. I would bring your daughters, bring your wives. Ilya Taporia, he's going to be fighting there soon. I really can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen on YouTube a lot of, you see like first-person tourist videos and like walking tours of Kensington. And there's a
Gold says, are you going to show yourself on TV at a card?
A UFC event on someone's front lawn.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, but I mean, I'm on TV a lot. But you be a Simon Feck, okay? Because right now I'm Howard Tern, ladies and gentlemen. Howard Tern, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways.
It's a no-brainer as far as I can see.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. It's coming up, man. It's coming up. I shouldn't have said anything, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Otto says, Simon needs to enter his lamp in the slap fight, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, Howard Tern here, ladies and gentlemen. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, right here, the #1 contender in power slap, in Dana White's power slap, ladies and gentlemen, right here is Simon Feck's lamp, ladies and gentlemen. This lamp in a couple weeks will be 1 year old with the same light bulb. Kanata, can you believe that? It's the same light bulb. Almost a year. This thing's all dented up and everything. The light bulb has been going for 1 year, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no fat woman there. There's no fat woman. All the women are real skinny. All the women look like they're all
Ladies and gentlemen, right here, the power slap champion, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Howard Tern. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, your power slap champion, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck's lamp, ladies and gentlemen. From K out there, ladies and gentlemen. We got some good ones in here today, guys. We got shorts after shorts, ladies and gentlemen.
Missing weight in today's world when there's such easy.
Gold says, if I could guess what you do, will you say yes or no? No. Listen. Okay, so I work with a guy named, well, on the Simon Feck show. Well, I'm Howard Tern, but Simon Feck works with Ash, and he works with Let's Go Champ 2023, and he works with Mike, and he works with Scott. 4 guys, right? And they're always asking questions, ladies and gentlemen. Part of the fun is not knowing who Simon Feck is, but trust me, Gold. Somebody will dox Simon Feck, that's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I had people come up to me in the Apex, and they said, hey, do you know who Simon Feck is? And I go, no, I don't know who he is. Well, he says that he works here in the Apex. And I'm like, he did? I mean, I don't pay attention to the guy. Yeah, there's not that many people, really. And there's like 100 or less people that work in the Apex. And most of the time, it's even less than that. It's like around 60 people. Mostly video production guys.
Canelo Alvarez was potentially refusing.
Yeah, I can't go around the guessing game, you know, because I got Ash asking questions, and then he says, "Hey, I think I know who you are."
The reason why is
and I'm like, "Well, okay, well, who is Simon Feck?" He didn't have anything to say, but he's trying. He's gathering every little bit of information he can, writing it down. I see somebody else writing it down too as I'm saying stuff.
Was like a semicircle of people around him because the stall door was open and they were like, "You've got to go out."
Gold's guessing who Simon Feck is. He says, "Is he a production cameraman?"
So they gave him a bunch of water, some laxatives. He took a dub and then he went out and he fought. And you know, it was it was very close. We almost never saw the fight last night.
Yeah,
well, the answer is no.
For making Canelo shit.
And I said I wouldn't say yes or no, but the answer is no.
You know, such like a historic.
Could Simon Feck have done one? I don't know either. I mean, that's a question. That could be the next question.
Wins $100,000, and Canelo got inspired. You know, Canelo took a little. You know, he took a little.
That's very crazy. People approach you and ask you that. What the fuck? Yeah, that's right. I've told that on here before too. Yeah.
I'll say right.
And what's his name? Oscar Willis, right? Oscar Willis of the Mac Life, right? He comes up to me because his buddy Jose Young's from MMA Fighting on SBN. You know, Oscar comes up to me and asks me. A couple other people have asked me too. I mean, everybody's trying to figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and you know, it just goes to show, like, he definitely expended a lot of cardio before the fight.
Says Gold, ladies and gentlemen.
And Terrence Crawford, that's a guy who's, they call him Trumpet. They call him Terrence the Trumpet Crawford. I don't know if you know that.
I won't ask you more. I don't want people to know. Respect the privacy, mate. Oh, it's okay. You could ask. I mean, it's fun, right? So we got, I don't know, we got about 10 more minutes. And then this video's done. I don't know if I'm going to stay around. Great show, Simon, ladies and gentlemen. Says K-Nato. Thanks a lot, K-Nato. Yeah. For you saying that, I'll be ending it here in just a little bit. It's going to be about 2 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen. We got 5 strong in here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. But I do this show from a birdhouse, ladies and gentlemen. Do we got? There it is. Ken Otto says, "Great show, Simon." Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, imagine Simon Feck walking around looking like he does, right? At a UFC card, right? And then everybody, not everybody, because I know it's a small channel. I understand that. And by the way, Gold, Simon Feck has a big channel somewhere else, okay?
This is why I couldn't fight. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. This isn't my first rodeo, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not like this. It's like one of those boring ones.
Talking about the situation.
But imagine me walking around, and as soon as one person wants to picture with me, that would say, ladies and gentlemen, imagine, other people, imagine like 20, 30 people screaming, ladies and gentlemen. Because even if they don't know who Simon Feck is, a guy walking around in a bird costume, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, they're going to want their picture, right? I mean, everybody's got a camera, right? Not everybody, but, What's your streaming schedule? I would tune in more, says Gold. Well, the only one that we have scheduled every week, and it just started, it's on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? So last week we had No Chill on. That's who you're listening to right now. It's not John Morgan. And we got somebody for the week after. We don't have anybody for tomorrow morning. Well, it's morning for us. There's a gentleman by the name Champ. He's from Scotland. And then Simon Feck. And then we're looking for somebody for tomorrow, 10 a.m. The link will be up there. Don't be afraid. Come on.
That might be something that we have to get a scoop on sooner than later.
Will you ever reveal your main channel? Only after I get doxxed, right? So when I get doxxed, I'll just be making fun of whoever my real self is, right? And then I'll be able to talk about my real self, and then I'll be able to make fun of my real self. So whenever I get doxxed is when it's going to happen, but I'm also going to deny it too. Okay? Now, this is the honest truth, right? When I first started out, people thought I was Hulk Hogan. Okay? Swear to God, people thought I was Hulk Hogan. Now, I knew Hulk Hogan, and I knew Ric Flair, and I know a bunch of wrestlers. There you go, Ken Otto, if you're still there. Okay, Simon Feck knows a bunch of wrestlers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, a bunch. Okay, and then there's the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys hanging in there, ladies and gentlemen. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this right now. As a matter of fact, you know what, Gold? I should tell you who I am. I should tell you exactly who I am. But what we're going to do here, we're going to say this. Okay. So Simon Feck is none other. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead, because I'm Howard Tern. I could dox Simon Feck, right? So Howard Tern here, I'm going to dox Simon Feck. Simon Feck is none other than